Welcome to World News on this election eve. Tonight, races are tightening, pulses are quickening, candidates are launching last-minute strategies to get you to the polls. Women's history, how female candidates in both parties will make this an historic election day. Execution fallout. Saddam Hussein's death sentence was supposed to put Iraqis at ease. Instead, it is fueling new fears. And rough rides, new findings on school bus safety that will shock parents. Why are so many children ending up in the hospital?
From ABC News Election Headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. As of tomorrow night, the onslaught of ads will be over. The rallies, the speeches, the phone banks will be silenced. And the voters will have spoken. Just about 12 hours from now, the polling place is open. As we have said over and over, the numbers to remember, and we will emphasize these numbers again on election night. The numbers to remember, in the Senate, if the Democrats can take 6 Republican seats, they will have control of that body. And in the House, if the Democrats can take 15 seats there, they will have control of the House. So tonight, our reporters look at the latest polls, take the pulse of the road, and find at least one way voters could make history tomorrow. And we begin with our senior political correspondent, Jake Tapper. Jake?
Charlie, the speeches have been delivered, the billions have been spent, the millions of TV ads have aired, the babies have been kissed. So now it comes down to just one thing, getting out the vote. Political superstars are rallying the troops all over the country to get their voters to the polls in the tightest races. Former President Bill Clinton is in Virginia tonight, just missing former Mayor Rudolph Giuliani in nearby Maryland.
Endorsements help a little, hurt a little.
Crisscrossing Tennessee, Senator John McCain and Senator Barack Obama.
I had a wonderful time this morning with my dear friend Harold.
All imploring the crowds to get to work and get out the vote. In a fiercely fought House race here in Columbus, Ohio, that's the one issue Republican Congresswoman Debbie Price and Democratic challenger Mary Jo Kilroy clearly agree on.
Get out the vote is all important. We have phone banks full of volunteers, and we are going to hit the streets hard.
Experts say more effective than phone banks.
We're calling to remind folks that tomorrow is Election Day.
Is personal contact with voters.
Hi. Hi, how you doing?
Good. Especially at their homes.
Chris George, County Commissioner. Just hoping you'll vote for me.
It seems like Ohio is one of the battlegrounds, so makes it seem important to vote. Got to get out there and vote.
Republicans say they've spent $30 million on getting out the vote. Flyers and phone banks, 3 million voter contacts just on Saturday. Democrats say they've spent $40 million with 3.5 million contacts Saturday. Of course, not all the reaching out is to get people to the polls. Some of it seems designed to suppress turnout.
Hello, I'm calling with information about Chris Murphy.
Democrats accused Republicans of placing to voters automated phone calls that may seem to be from Democrats, but are not. They say the calls are placed in the middle of the night, annoying voters. Republicans deny the allegation. Turnout in midterm elections is usually pretty low, about 40%. So if you're in a race and you get 50% of your voters to the polls, you can win. A superior get-out-the-vote operation in just one race in this highly competitive election season, Charlie, can make all the difference in the world.
Jake Tapper reporting tonight from Columbus, Ohio. One note, the president campaigned in Florida today.
I strongly suggest you vote for Charlie Crist to be governor of the state of Florida.
One person missing at the rally, however, was Charlie Crist, the Republican candidate for Florida governor. He was campaigning elsewhere, and it was Crist who invited the president to Florida. Presidential political advisor Karl Rove did not seem amused by that. Crist insisted it was not a slight to the president. The 2 rallies in Florida, one featuring him, the other the president, was better than one. And our chief Washington correspondent, George Stephanopoulos, is here. Well, George, things always tighten at the end.
And that is the word of the day, Charlie, tightening. 3 new polls out over the last couple of days, including our own ABC News poll, which all show the Democrats' double-digit lead over the last couple of weeks basically being cut in half and more. There's no question the Republican base is getting back in the game, and they're starting to cut into the Democrats' lead among independents. Democrats' polls confirm this tightening as well, but they also point out that margins like we just saw could translate into a big night for them. Remember 1994, when the Republicans took over. Their margin that night was 52-46. They won 52 seats.
All right, let's talk about the Senate, because you were just mentioning the House in 1994. The question is, can the Democrats pick up 6 seats? How do they feel? How do the Republicans feel?
Looking very tough. The consensus is both parties is that it's an uphill fight right now. Democrats starting to feel a little better about the state of Missouri, but Republicans are feeling better about the states of Michigan, which hadn't been on the map at all up until today, and Maryland, which is a Democratic stronghold. Most interesting, Charlie, today, both Democrats and Republicans agree that Lincoln Chafee, the Republican in Rhode Island, is coming on very strong, is ahead right now, and Bill Clinton is going to Rhode Island tonight to rally Democrats.
All right, one other thing. I know you've been comparing off-year elections for past presidents and what's happened there when they have low approval ratings.
That is the key. Presidential approval rating is the best predictor of midterms. Look back at these ratings. 1966, Lyndon Johnson, 44%, lost 47 seats. Ronald Reagan in 1982, 42%, lost 26 seats. Bill Clinton in 1994, 46%, lost 52 seats. George W. Bush is below all of them in approval rating. That is clearly the danger zone.
We will find out tomorrow night right here as we count the votes. George, thanks. To better understand the mood of the nation and why many Republican officials are so anxious, we decided to visit an area that is normally solid Republican turf, the 2nd Congressional District of Kansas. ABC's Dean Reynolds is there tonight. Dean?
Charlie, this district has been red for so long, you have to wonder why the race here is so competitive. And it's almost enough to make a visitor think, gee, we're not in Kansas anymore. There were 7,000 people cheering President Bush and Republican Congressman Jim Ryan last night here in Topeka, the two men standing arm in arm, basking in the political glow.
I'm proud to be here with Jim Ryan.
Still, that the president came to stump for a veteran GOP congressman in a very red state on the eve of the election is a sign of how tough this year may be for Republicans.
Morning.
Ryan, a former Olympic miler, is in the race of his political life.
But you won by 15 points last time,
different atmosphere
right?
this time.
Bob Beatty, a local university professor, thinks he knows why.
What's changed is more frustration over Iraq. My God, it pulls on your conscience, and you say, good Lord, is this the right thing to do?
Harry Craig, a Republican, runs a Topeka tractor business.
It's causing a great deal of trouble for local candidates.
Nancy Boyda is Ryan's opponent. A lifelong Republican, Boyda switched parties 3 years ago.
I think that the Republican Party has lost touch with the American people. They don't get it.
And it's not just about the war. Criticism of Ryan and other Republicans involves what is seen as a too-close-for-comfort relationship with the religious right. But Ryan needs those Christian voters to win. Pastor Jim Congdon of the Topeka Bible Church ministers to Christian conservatives who are loyal but increasingly wary Republicans.
They think that a lot of the Republican candidates, including conservative evangelical ones, could be in trouble.
Is there any difference between 2 years ago and now?
Yeah, the expectations.
Jim Ryan still expects to win, but no one expected it to be this hard. And, of course, Republicans may well prevail elsewhere, too, Charlie, but when a candidate like Jim Ryan is running scared, it is not a sign of confidence.
Dean Reynolds reporting tonight in Topeka, Kansas. Thanks. And even if Republicans hold the House and Senate, change is coming to Congress. The New York Democrat Bella Abzug famously won a congressional seat 36 years ago with the slogan, "This woman's place is in the House of Representatives." Well, today there are 67 women in the House and 14 in the Senate. Those numbers are likely to increase tomorrow night. And ABC's Kate Snow is here with that story. Kate?
Charlie, remember 1992 was dubbed the Year of the Woman, but tomorrow night may rival that. The number of women in the Senate could grow, the number in the House could grow by double digits, and by most projections, it will be the biggest incoming class of women ever on Capitol Hill.
Okay, good. How are you today?
Lois Murphy, a mother of 2 young girls, ran against Republican Congressman Jim Gerlach 2 years ago and lost by just 6,400 votes. This, she believes, is her year.
With your help, we're going to win.
This wealthy district in Philadelphia's mainline suburbs could be part of what some analysts are calling a perfect storm for female candidates. There are 139 women running this time around. What does that say to you?
I think it says that voters are interested in a change of perspective.
Voters disgusted by the war in Iraq and sick of scandals are looking for new blood, for outsiders.
Thanks so much for coming.
And women such as Gabrielle Giffords in Arizona, Christine Jennings in Florida, or Kirsten Gillibrand in New York may fit the bill.
They don't even have to open their mouths. They are not the standard issue white man in a blue suit with a red tie.
Women are seen as not part of the Washington Inside Old Boy network. So they are viewed as more trustworthy when the climate is such as it is this year.
Of the 45 women challenging male incumbents, just 11 are Republicans, 34 are Democrats. Democrats need to gain 15 seats to take back control of the House, and women could be key to that. Of all the most competitive races in the country right now, there are 18 in which a Democratic woman stands a chance to win.
We've broken all of the political barriers. The last major hurdle was financial, the financial hurdle, and women candidates are now able to raise as much money as their male counterpart.
Groups like Emily's List have actively recruited women who favor abortion rights to run.
Seeing women be smart and tough and effective is going to help all of us, and I think really sets the stage if we have a woman running for president in the near future.
Research indicates women voters prefer women candidates. If those female voters choose a lot of women tomorrow night, Charlie, there will also be another historic first. As you know, the first female Speaker of the House.
She would be the 52nd Speaker of the House, but the first woman. All right, Kate Snow, thanks. Still ahead on this broadcast, questions after Saddam Hussein's death sentence. Justice Iraqis thought they would not see, and consequences the U.S. never imagined. And alarming news about school bus accidents. They are more dangerous, those buses, than we thought.
This is World News with Charles Gibson, brought to you by Nasonex.
Nasal allergy symptoms like congestion can occur at any time, and it's hard to avoid the things that cause them. Prescription Nasonex helps relieve congestion and other nasal allergy symptoms. Maybe that's why 4 million nasal allergy sufferers used Nasonex last year.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing. For more information, talk to your doctor.
Nasonex keeps congestion and other nasal allergy symptoms on the run, day and night.
This is great. Cheerios?
Grandma said they make good hearts.
Come here.
You can eat it.
Let's just keep this forever. For every heart, Cheerios.
Look for 5 free celebrated books, 1 inside specially marked boxes of Cheerios.
If there were a store in your town called Peace of Mind, would you pay it a visit? Across America, in towns big and small, there is such a place, New York Life. It starts with our values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity, and continues with our agents. So look for us in your town. You may already know our people, and we are confident that peace of mind is why New York Life is the company you keep.
I used to think that Veterans Day was a day to get out of school. Then my uncle went to serve overseas. Even though he was gone forever, he came home safe. When he wears his uniform, people smile or shake his hand. I guess when you're a veteran, you're a hero. I know he's mine.
We all know someone who has served our country. Today and every day, we say thank you to all our veterans.
There are over 14 million headaches happening in this country today. But too many go untreated, simply because we're away from home. So we created a fast, new way to get the pure pain relief of Tylenol. Introducing Tylenol Go Tabs. They're portable and chewable for fast headache relief, even away from home. It's one small step towards a pain-free world. Stop. Think. Tylenol Go Tabs.
In Baghdad today, one day after Saddam Hussein was sentenced to hang for crimes against humanity, Iraq's appeals court suggested it might rule on the former dictator's death sentence as early as January. And if it's upheld, Saddam could be executed in February. ABC's Terry McCarthy in Baghdad reports Saddam's death sentence is laying bare the deep divisions that are his bloody legacy.
They used to call him the Lion of Babylon. Even as he was being sentenced to death, Saddam Hussein was still growling. Go to hell with you and the court, he said. His divisive influence across Iraq was clear from the demonstrations that continued today. South of Baghdad and Mahmoudiyah, Shiite opponents celebrated the verdict by handing out candies. Sunni supporters to the north in Samarra chanted, "Long live Saddam," for the man condemned to die. He will continue to terrify them even from his grave, read this Arabic headline. The government still fears this influence and today renewed the ban on all traffic in Baghdad to prevent outbreaks of violence. The streets are empty here in the second day of complete curfew, but in a deeper sense, it's Saddam Hussein himself who's left a huge vacuum in this country that nobody knows how to fill. Saddam held power for 35 years, exploiting the sectarian divide by favoring Sunnis over Shiites. He kept the country together by sheer force and deadly purges. The verdict against him split Iraqis, but was also a warning to other strongmen in the region.
In the Arab world, there haven't been any tradition of putting their leaders to account.
The U.S. hoped Saddam's trial would pull the lion's teeth, remove the fear he instilled in his own people, and show the rule of law would now prevail. In fact, it has accentuated the differences between Iraqis and promoted lawlessness, and shown how hard it will be to finally banish the ghost of Saddam Hussein. Terry McCarthy, ABC News, Baghdad.
An item tonight from Central America about a startling comeback. Daniel Ortega was Nicaragua's Marxist president in the 1980s. His Sandinista government fought U.S.-backed Contra rebels in a deadly civil war before voters swept him from office. But tonight it appears he's returning to power, the winner of Nicaragua's presidential election. Ortega claims he is no longer a revolutionary, but his victory, if it stands, would be a defeat for Washington, which opposed him. Up next, a startling report on how many kids are really hurt in school bus accidents. Safety information that parents need.
Putting breaking news into the hands of 1 million readers a day, Carl is a formidable man. But he was no match for something smaller than a drop of ink. It KO'd Carl so fast he didn't know what hit him. It was a clot. Like Carl, if you've been hospitalized with heart-related chest pain or a certain type of heart attack, what doctors call ACS, chances are you've had a clot. But now, Carl's doctor is helping increase Carl's protection against heart attack or stroke by putting Carl on Plavix. Plavix, in combination with aspirin and other heart medicines, helps provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke than aspirin and other heart medicines alone, by helping keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you shouldn't use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. To minimize this risk, talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur.
Ask your doctor about Plavix today, because no matter how formidable you are, you're no match for a dangerous clot. If you take Plavix with aspirin, continuing to do so will help increase your protection against a future heart attack or stroke. Beyond aspirin and your other heart medicines alone, you may be feeling better, but your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
I'm handsome, I'm funny, I tell a good joke. I'll hug you, I'll kiss you, I don't even smoke. My wife is impeccable, my past quite respectable. Vote for me assuredly, but don't ask about Social Security. Come have some pie with me.
Don't fall for the song and dance. Vote the issues, not just the personality. See where the candidates stand at don'tvote.com.
Got too much on your plate to think about what should go on your plate? Try Delicious Ensure, a source of complete balanced nutrition. So when you can't eat right, eat smart. Ensure, nutrition for a healthier you.
My baby left for college, and I got a pain reliever for my back.
Took classes, too. Got something for arthritis pain.
Different pains, different pain relievers. But now Advil is my every pain reliever.
Works wherever I hurt.
I'm all Advil.
This is a very uncomfortable situation.
Sales of flatulent. I've remained silent but deadly about this problem so far.
Got gas on your mind? New Gas X Thin Strips dissolve quickly and relieve gas fast. Gas X. Pressure's off.
Tomorrow, America votes, and tomorrow night, Americans turn to ABC's World News with Charles Gibson for all the breaking inside Election Day news from the best political team in America. Turn to a special edition of World News with Charles Gibson. Vote 2006.
A severe rainstorm is pounding much of the Pacific Northwest tonight, with flood warnings up in many parts of Washington state and Oregon. Evacuations have been ordered along fast-rising rivers, and Seattle's flood plan is in effect. Some places could get a foot of rain. And a fast-moving wildfire has done heavy damage today east of Los Angeles, and investigators are searching for the cause. The fire, fanned by strong wind, burned through 300 acres in Rialto, causing about $1 million damage to an industrial area, and 2 nearby schools had to be evacuated. With all the focus on safety in schools, a lot of people might be surprised today to learn how many children get hurt on the buses that take them to and from school. 23.5 million kids in this country ride school buses every year. And a new report finds 17,000 children end up in emergency rooms because of bus accidents. How to make things safer? Here's ABC's Nancy Cordes.
School bus-related injuries are 3 times more common than previously thought, according to researchers who sifted through hospital databases from across the nation.
These are injuries serious enough to require an emergency department visit.
According to the new study in the journal Pediatrics, nearly half the injuries, 42%, are the result of crashes. The numbers are reigniting calls by some safety advocates for seat belts on school buses.
How much is a child's life? How much is their health and safety worth? I think we can find the money.
Despite government tests that show lap shoulder safety belts could prevent injuries in school buses, the transportation industry says they're not critical and too expensive.
What we would have to do is reconfigure the school bus seat, and we would lose a certain amount of capacity in each school bus.
They claim the best line of defense against injuries is a skilled bus driver and something called compartmentalization. Compartmentalization refers to the way the seats are configured, close together with high padded backs to serve as a sort of cocoon if a child is suddenly thrown forward. But if that child is sitting at the end, compartmentalization doesn't work very well. As in this crash we showed you at the top of our story.
We should go right to shoulder harnesses, and we should give the children the protection they deserve.
Still, transportation officials caution parents not to take their children off the bus. Statistics show it's still safer than walking or riding in the family car. Nancy Cordes, ABC News, Winsted, Connecticut.
And here in New York today, the ambitious plan to move and overhaul a massive piece of military history fell way short. The USS Intrepid, the legendary World War II aircraft carrier turned museum, was supposed to be hauled away from its Manhattan pier by 6 mighty tugboats. But the deep mud of the Hudson River proved mightier. The Intrepid only moved about 10 feet and then got stuck. When we come back, a final note on tomorrow's fundamental exercise in democracy.
Feeling that big cold all over your body? Immerse yourself in total cold relief with new Alka-Seltzer Plus Liquid, a new Alka-Seltzer Plus that speeds relief to every inch of you for big relief fast. New Alka-Seltzer Plus Liquid liquidates your big cold all over. Also available in liquid gel and effervescent.
A gentleman came into my pharmacy the other day needing guidance on what Medicare prescription plan is right for his grandmother, who's out in Florida, and she was confused because there was a lot of Medicare plans for her and she didn't know which one to do, so she asked her grandson for help. And I had no problem helping them out and was happy to do it and showed him the 3 cheapest plans for his grandmother. His grandma goes to CVS all the way out in Florida, but I still took care of her all the way here in Chicago. I'm Rennie Kurup, and I'm a CVS pharmacist.
where good can overcome. That is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
If you love racing, get a scratch-off card at Denny's. We're giving away 5 VIP race packages, plus a grand prize right along with a big-name driver.
Wow.
There are millions of Coca-Cola beverage and Denny's food prizes, too. So race in the win at Denny's.
Science suggests vitamin D is a key to calcium absorption, which helps keep bones strong. New improved Caltrate has more vitamin D. Keep your bones strong to keep your body strong. New Caltrate, the key to strong bones.
Sharon Blinn for Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Friends who sleep in a chair by your hospital bed are beautiful. Doctors who tell jokes in the chemo room are beautiful. Patients who refuse to give up are beautiful. Cancer can be ugly. The people who fight it are anything but. Oh yeah, bald is beautiful.
Your will, our medicines. Together we can fight the serious diseases. Bristol-Myers Squibb. Together we can prevail.
I'm Steve Dunn. Next, the Northwest's only all-local newscast. High water from the coast to the Cascades, the fight to save homes and businesses. And 2 men are dead, another arrested for a brutal crime. What led police to the suspect? Next.
Just a final note before Election Day. There is something majestic about what is going to happen tomorrow. 80 million Americans or thereabouts will go to their local school or firehouse and express our national collective will. It is the biannual reaffirmation of what Gerald Ford said in his swearing-in address, "Here, the people rule." And there is perhaps an even greater majesty to the day when you keep in mind that 170,000 American kids are in war zones, putting their lives on the line. The process feels a bit debased at times, the negative ads. You have to hope our candidates are in their respective races to do something positive for the country or for their state, not just to run down their opponent. And then there's the billions of dollars being spent to win your vote. Contributors aren't going to give all that money without some strings attached. But in the end, once the curtain is drawn, none of that matters. You take the measure of the man or woman who is running in each race, and you choose. I always remember a Hazel cartoon. Years ago, the Saturday Evening Post used to feature Hazel on the last page of the magazine every week. Hazel was a domestic, a maid, who worked full-time for one family. The cartoon showed her leaving one polling booth while her boss left an adjoining booth. And Hazel turned to him and said, "Well, I just canceled out your vote." That's what happens tomorrow. Each person speaks with equal voice. Majestic. And that is World News for this election eve. I'm Charlie Gibson. Later tonight, Nightline joins Senator Barack Obama as he stumps for fellow Democrats. And Good Morning America will have the latest political reporting tomorrow. You can join the debate yourself by submitting questions and comments at abcnews.com. We'll get them tomorrow on our broadband network, ABC News Now. And for all of us at ABC News, we hope you've had a good day and have a good night.
It all comes down to this. Tuesday, the country votes. And Tuesday night, America turns to Charles Gibson, George Stephanopoulos, and the ABC News Vote 2016. Simply the best in the business. Accurate, fair, trusted. ABC News Election Night.
Country music's biggest night now on America's network, the CMA Awards. Live tonight at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Now on K2 News at 6:30.
This is Highway 101 running right through the center of Tillamook. The water here is the highest they've seen it in years, and the rain's still falling.
Plus,
in the metro area, local rivers are on the rise, too. I'm John Capel. We're watching Johnson Creek and Fano Creek in particular, and we'll tell you where to find sandbags next.
And crews are scrambling to keep up with the damage from the storm, what you can do to help. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to K2 News at 6:30. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. High water. That is the story of the day. The rain continues to hammer the Northwest from the coast to the Cascades. We have Storm Alert team coverage. Meteorologist Rod Hill is in the Storm Alert Weather Center. John Capel is along Johnson Creek, But we begin with K2's Brian Barker in Tillamook. Brian? Actually, we're going to start with John Capella instead along